welcome to the Cult of Comics podcast. I'm your host, Tyler. That's Josh. That's Sean. And this is a comic book podcast. We're going to talk to you about the news today. If you've never been on the show before, I am Tyler. I've been a fan of comics for many years, much longer than these two. Actually,
Bullshit.
Josh, you're older. You're older than me, aren't you?
Yeah. No,
By 2 years?
I was collecting something like that. I'm about to turn 33.
Oh, okay.
Oof.
Yeah. Oof.
Don't
yeah,
oof.
I know.
We're comics black and white.
I was getting comics back in the 90s, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. The comics that I was back into back in the day was like I was buying like the Simpsons comic book and Teen Titans, and that was like it, you know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there have always been like Simpsons comics or Star Wars comics. But I mean, like I some of the, I've got like almost the whole run of like Superman from 1998, and that was about when I started collecting. Yeah, that's about when I started collecting. So some of those I bought like new off the shelf.
I am the definition of a late starter. Like I started collecting comics in my 20s. I started playing Magic this year when I turned 30. I just got into things really late for the most part. And a big reason why, honestly, is because I didn't know comic book stores were like a thing. Honestly, I just knew that they sold comics at like Toys R Us, and they were selling them at Barnes and Noble, and I would get them there every once in a while. I got a couple Spider-Man stuffs, but
yeah, you can go pick up like graphic novels or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was reading a lot of graphic novels growing up, but not single issues,
Yeah, but like when you're a kid, you don't have a lot of money, so you're like going to the library and just borrowing the graphic novel versions, the trade paperbacks and whatnot.
Yeah, well, maybe you had this similar experience. When I was a kid, I used to get my chore money, my allowance for mowing the lawn or building a house or whatever. And construction sites, I actually should clarify that. I grew up on construction sites with my dad, so he made me carry rebar everywhere. And then my brother and I would make
some more sense on
why I am the way I am.
No, I mean like why your dad's in jail. He probably got different pain meds.
That's fair. That's valid. God fucking damn it. The goddamn neighbor's doing that now. No, I used to take the allowance money and go down to the 7-Eleven and buy like comic books and like Pokemon cards and shit.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. You get your slushies, you get your fucking comic books. It was a great time. That was like the best highlight of my summer that year. Josh, I mean, Sean, what do they have in the UK? They don't have 7-Elevens. They have Ting Tong good time locations, right? That's what they're called?
That's the exact name, yes.
Where they sell like chocolate frogs and...
It definitely is.
Oh, because it's a Ting Tong?
Wee bit.
Yeah, do you guys know what Little Britain is? The Matt Lucas, David Williams TV show?
Yeah.
One of you does. There was a really racist character in one of their sketches that was called Ting Tong. And she was like a Thai bride. Yeah.
I should be careful then. I'm going to get cancelled.
Yeah, because that show's now been taken. They were working on a new season of it. Then it got hit with, like, during the Black Lives Matter thing, they were like, oh, we're now taking this show off of, like, Netflix, all these streaming services, because it's racist.
There was like an Australian version of that too, wasn't there?
I don't know.
Like Australian rednecks.
Aren't those like there's a name for those people, right? Like for the people who like desire to live on the outback. I can't remember. Think what it is.
Not even like the outback. They're just like rednecks,
like crocodile.
White trash.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, your people enslaved them for years. Sean, you help us out here. What are they called?
What called? Sorry, Australian redneck.
Yeah, not the Aborigine people, not the ones that your people murdered, thousands of years of.
Kangaroo fuckers.
I'll allow it. Like I said, this is a comic book media podcast. We can actually probably talk about like comic book news and stuff, what's going on in the world right now. I guess I just wanted to give introductions. Yeah. What is going on in the news of the world when it comes to comic book things? We are first off talking about because I was killing time trying to find it. There it is. Creators. Is this the first thing the creators can edit and change already uploaded comics?
Yes, this is something Jonathan Hickman did. He went back and people were complaining about low resolution files, typos and stuff. So he went back and corrected them, re-uploaded new files for the first chapter.
Substack doesn't have editors.
They have to hire their own editors.
We've cut out the editors. We've cut out the middleman.
Wait a minute.
Bring the comic directly to you.
Keep going because I'm going to look up something really quick. Please keep talking. I'm just curious.
We're gonna crowdsource the editing.
Yes, so a typo is when the letters are in the wrong order.
Yeah, no shit. I'll fucking murder you.
I got to the end of my information. You want me to keep going?
No, I was gonna look up. I'm curious to see if the stuff that I've read on Substack so far has like a info dump page for the creative teams and everything.
Yeah.
And
so like when we're saying it's low res, what are we talking about? Like 480 by 960?
It wasn't that bad, but people just weren't happy. It wasn't like 4K, whatever.
Yeah.
They wanted
4K Ultra HTV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just working with like a scanner from the 80s.
It's just a fax machine. That's how the teams made it.
I'm really curious about what, because I'm looking at the credits and everything right now. It really is just to jump in. So, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense considering I apologize for the sound right now. Is that bad?
No, can't hear anything.
Oh, good.
We'll have to check like when you export the audio to see if it has it, but
sure.
Right now I can't hear.
Looking at the credits page right now, I'm glad to hear. It just says written and created by James Tynion, drawn and created by Michael Avon Oming for Blue Book, lettered by Aditya Bidikar, designed by Dylan Todd, edited by Greg Lockhart. So there is an editor, at least in
but
that.
They do have to hire their own.
That's for Tynion.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
About.
Yeah. That's
because this was Hickman that had to fix some stuff.
So the reason I guess I bring this up is because this is going to be one of the first things that we see at this new creative format, kind of get acclimated here because, it's not a publishing house they're going through. This is one of the benefits you get from the publishing house, right? Like you get the people in-house who are inkers. You get Dan Slott running around, yelling out his plotline ideas and pissing off every writer in the room, that kind of shit. That's interesting though. So Jonathan Hickman's already kind of a creative individual in the first place as far as, the page design layouts that he does. So I guess I'm not that surprised that he would be the one to go in and do that, right?
Yeah, but it's just because there's much more fan engagement with this, it just means the creators can then correct anything because of that. Because he was replying to all the comments on the actual post. He was very involved with the discussion of the issue.
Okay. Well, that's neat.
And I saw one person apologize for the negative comments. They said it must suck to read it. And he was like, no, we're all working this out together. It's good to hear the feedback and be able to fix it.
Yeah.
He was like,
oh my God, I'm so sorry for all these other people that are ragging on you.
He basically said if you guys were saying oh, it sucks, no need to upload higher quality images, then that would be bad. But the feedback was constructive.
Sure. Two things. One, I actually am that guy in the comments who's like, I'm so sorry for these people because I'm really, and I discovered this is an ADHD thing. Apparently it is a response to criticism thing that is a desire to try to appeal to certain features when it comes to criticism and feeling empathy for other people in that regard and being like, I'm so sorry, even though it doesn't really fucking matter.
I mean, maybe I'm so sorry you have to deal with this, but to apologize for other people just kind of sounds like you're, sucking up and oh, I'm not these guys. I'm somebody else.
Believe me when I say that I have thought about that because I am overly analytical about everything that I post online.
But you didn't care about
when you tell Sean to kill himself, you're very critical about that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, half the things he says to me are just things that he knows I'm going to be using for a rub and tug later. So I'm hoping he's going to do the same. How did David Carradine die? With the anyways. All right, dark jokes aside, actually this features onto the next Substack series announcement from James Tynion. Apparently a Department of Truth, Wild Fictions, and Rotating Artists Tynion worked with on Razorblades horror magazine. This first chapter drops October 1st. The first chapter is currently free to read. It is Department of Truth.
Will be when it comes out.
Sure. It's a Department of Truth side stories project. We mentioned this before, I think, right?
Yeah, so it's a series of one-shots dealing with the
it's their Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh,
basically, yeah. So it's going to be dealing with all sorts of creatures
oh yeah, you did mention this. Okay, cool.
I did attach a link in the script.
Yeah, no, I'm actually looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's so each entry is going to have a different artist, it seems like.
Yep, rotating artist.
It says it's going to be referred to as codename Zubuk.
That was his tease name for it.
Sure.
when he announced it. So it was like Blue Book, Zoo Book, all these. He teased it with like those sort of titles.
Yeah. Okay. All of these ones that have like a traditional comic format, I'm so hesitant to like subscribe to that because it's like I'm paying for it now, but I also think I'm probably going to buy it when it comes out as like physical media.
Yeah, no, I'm
not sure I want to buy something twice, but I do want to see it now. So, well, there's that trade-off.
I feel like the benefit of being able to have that access to it immediately is really nice. And it's the same conversation we've had of, because I'm subscribing to the creative team and the creators.
Yeah.
I get to have access to all of their other stuff as well. Right.
Yeah.
But the incentive for me to be a donator on Patreon, for example, to Channel 5 is that I get to see exclusive content that does not get released anywhere else. Maybe I get access to the merch booth earlier than usual. They'll send me a sticker once a month, something, other incentives.
Yeah.
And right now, this is just the book.
Yeah. There's not that exclusivity. There's not, like we saw with, what was the Marvel Infinity? Is that what it's called?
Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Marvel Unlimited, where they had a format structure that would not work with traditional media.
Exactly.
And that is something to check out.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I wanted to bring this up a second ago. The second thing I wanted to bring up, and this is more of an info dump than anything, so feel free to tune out, Sean, because I know you don't really care about information. So I'm studying journalism, and one of the more interesting features of American journalism that I've just recently uncovered and was taught about was this exact same thing that Jonathan Hickman is having, which is that interactive feature. There was do you know the movie Black Hawk Down?
Yeah.
So that stems from firsthand accounts and interviews with a Philadelphia newspaper that was posted online. It was posted either weekly or monthly, I can't remember. But the author kept adding information, writing new pieces on it, and would have soldiers sit down and then talk with them. I can't remember if it was a male or female, so I'm going to use the they, them pronouns. And just kind of talk about like what that was like and if the story is correct. However, it also opened up the format to please email this newspaper and specifically this reporter for any information whatsoever. And it was extremely constructive. People were coming in and saying, that doesn't actually make any sense to say this because in the military, we say this or do this, and you have to consider, location for this. Or you would have people who would say, well, I'm a military wife, or I'm not military, but I live near a military base, so you should understand this. And then other people who were foreign would say, well, you should consider this because that's where the helicopter landed. And it's revered in the newspaper community, the journalism community, as one of the more successful features of interacting with the public, because typically, and especially today, the public has trust issues with journalists because the old school mentality is you distance yourself from your subjects. You're just in it for making money. And you don't really listen to what people have to say because ultimately your story, quotes, is your story, and other people don't have a right or a say in what should be said in that. And that's not really true, because if it's something that's being reported as fact, no matter how it's framed, then people should have something to say about it. And that's the same reason why when there's criticism of the New York Times, for example, we should write in, we should talk to them about those sorts of things. So my brain immediately went to that. I'm really happy to hear that same experience is being done right now.
Yeah.
And info dump. Thank you very much for letting me rant about that. Should we move on, or is there anything else you guys wanted to add about this?
Let's move on.
Cool. Batgirls by Becky Cloonan, Michael Conrad, and Jorge Corona. I can't remember how it is. Is it George or is it Jorge? Jorge Corona has been announced. Yay!
Finally, after like years of fans campaigning for it, there's finally a Batgirl book.
Do you remember when?
No. Carry on.
All right.
No, I essentially left for the silence there. Do you remember when Batgirl and the Birds of Prey was around?
You mean the show or the comic?
The comic.
In Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the creative team on that?
It was Julia and Shauna Benson.
I'm sorry, I'm just lost in how you speak. Could you say Shauna Benson again?
Shauna Benson.
Thank you.
It's a female version of my name.
So is the Oracle missing in this? Because it looks like the what is it? What do they call it? Like the Watchtower or something?
All along the watchtower.
No, she's on the front cover. Here's the cover. I was just calling up the article for it.
No, you're
She's there
fine.
in the background.
So I'm seeing the Bleeding Cool article right now.
It's going to be more her mentoring Steph and Cass, I believe.
They seem young. Steph seems younger than what we're seeing in like Joker.
I think that's just because of the art.
Yeah. Okay. Guillaume tends to draw everyone looking
a certain style. Yeah. I thing I'm just going to call out really quick. I'm really happy that Cass has the stitching on her mask again. I don't think I saw that in the recent stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's in Joker.
Yeah, I don't think so either. When I read it this week, which by the way, all of the Batman stuff this week was great. No,
it's not there.
This isn't really necessarily important, but I'm excited for this book to be out. I'm probably going to pick up the number 1. I can't keep collecting so many Batman titles though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like I'm excited for this.
I want to, but I don't know whether I can justify it.
And so it's like, is this going to be connected to anything?
It'll be spinning out of Fear State at the minute.
Is that not Oracle in the background?
Of the cover, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh was just saying in the first image that the Watchtower's like a wreck and she's not there.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
The 3 of them are, together in Joker, so I wasn't sure if it's taking place at about the same time.
That's fair. Okay.
So in this article, it states that the reason they didn't have a book before was because Dan Didio hated both characters and referred to them as toxic.
It's kind of weird. Why though?
Wait, pause. Pause everything.
That's why they were written out in New 52.
Pause everything. Yes. I need you to explain and source who said that.
Bleeding Cool.
All right, I'm looking at the same article right now. Let me just Control F. Dan.
It's literally the top.
Oh shit! It's literally in the first part.
Yeah.
They were literally called toxic by what? Why?
Good question.
Okay. I am going to be the first to say it on here. Well, it'll be the first time I'm saying it. You've said it a couple times on here, Sean. Dan Didio sucks.
Yeah.
I've been trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because so many articles just rip into him and so many creators have given him like very much credit. Like Mark Russell obviously has a career because of him. Donnie Cates was really cool with him. Jim Lee apparently has a relationship with him, but
romantic.
I hope so.
I've just kind of likened him to like him being a real life J. Jonah Jameson.
At this point,
yeah.
Mark Waid refused to work with him ever again.
Yeah, but that was more because of Bob Harass as well.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like he seems to be genuinely passionate about the like creators and the books, but he's got a very narrow mindset of what it should be, and he's very opinionated in everything outside of that.
It seems like him being cut from the industry was a really good choice at this point because DC has flourished. I mean, how many?
Did I include this in the script?
I don't know. How many new DC books have been coming out that we have been like, yes, like even if we're not reading it
has been
agreed. But this leads into something I do want to mention.
Go for it.
When 5G was happening, Jeff Lemire was supposed to be writing the ongoing Green Lantern book as a horror series.
You did say that, yeah.
Yeah. But instead, we've got really Jeffrey Thorne doing his bullshit.
I will say this with the Jeffrey Thorne,
so I don't care.
Okay, let me put this out here. As critical as I am of some of the facets of what's going on in the book right now, I'm dramatically happier with it than I expected it to be. And I am actually enjoying...
Interesting stuff in it, though, is the editorial mandated stuff. Because Jeffrey Thorne said he wanted to write the stuff with Jon Stewart being on a planet.
Yeah,
and editorial
wanted
editorial wanted the Power Lantern battery to blow up. And the battery stuff is the only interesting stuff in the story at the minute.
I mean, it's not even the first time that we've seen the battery blow up either, so it is kind of a strange choice. But maybe it was enough of an incentive.
They wanted to do something a bit different rather than all the big cosmic battles since Jeff Johns.
I guess. I mean, I don't really think there's anything wrong with Hal and Pal's fighting Zod, you know, but
yeah, but they want to take it in a different direction because it was very much, it had been in a, what's the word I'm looking for?
A slump?
It had been very much following a pattern since Jeff Johns took over.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's constantly a war between the core and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Brain fart. I lost it. All right. Anyways.
And it's gone.
And that's literally how my brain is going at this point right now. I apologize. I need more whiskey.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Sure I do. Listen.
Put it down.
Brought to you Black Velvet. It's only $7.
But not really.
I'm just thinking of Bender now, where he's like, give me your like largest, strongest, cheapest drink.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of Jeff Lemire, that takes on to a new Black Label book that's been announced.
Please.
Yeah, so Jeff Lemire, Doug Mahnke are writing Swamp Thing Green Hell, which is a 3-issue, 48-page series.
That was me snapping in joy.
Yeah.
Green eggs.
I just remember when I get so excited, I just go, yeah, baby.
Oh, you love it. Whatever. Everyone has a little something that they get excited about. You're gonna do a little shimmy, yeah. I'm not pumped about this. It's Doug Mahnke. It's got Jeff Lemire, baby. It's good. All right.
Yeah, so that's some internal artwork for it. I've just posted in the chat.
Hell yeah. Is that going to be in general or? Oh, fuck. That looks awesome.
That is the cover, and this is a variant cover.
I am fucking lukewarm.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that one with his head. That's basically an island, but it's, you know, his whole body.
It is cool, yeah.
Has Lemire done a Swamp Thing book before?
He did Animal Man, and I think that had a crossover or something when Snyder was writing it.
Which apparently is supposed to be fucking amazing. I keep trying to find a #1 of that issue of #1 from the New 52 Swamp Thing Snyder. It's like $50 online everywhere I go.
Yeah, I don't think it's sold great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone's going to compare whatever Swamp Thing does to the Alan Moore stuff eventually, but yeah. I mean, that one got hell of praise, and it was also during the peak of, you know, Batman New 52, so makes sense.
Yeah. There was a lot of good out of New 52, but a lot of shit as well.
You know what? I just realized that I actually forgot to mention this to you. A Green Lantern story. Someone who I think would really be good at writing Green Lantern. Chip Zdarsky. Just based on what's going on. I was
literally just looking at that.
Fuck yeah! The whole thing. Oh, tune into our comic book episode where I'm gonna jump a whole bunch at Chip Zdarsky being the guy. All right.
He's gonna fangirl.
I'm gonna fanboy. I'm gonna put on some cat ears and a maid outfit, and I'm gonna go say up to Mr. Chip Zdarsky, Mr. Zdarsky, and yan, and then he'll ask for a restraining order.
I'm considering asking for one myself.
You live all the way over there.
I'm worried. Like, after that sentence, yeah, I'm worried.
All right, that's fair. No. Yeah. All right. What do we think about this before we go into anything else?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
More Black Label, but isn't Batman is always a good thing.
So to clarify, Josh is a fan of comic books. He just doesn't like joy.
Yeah.
I have my preferences and you have yours.
That is a really bitchy way. That sounds like something that I would hear a white woman say at a bar when she's had like too many fucking tequila shots. That's like a you problem, and I have my preferences.
I don't think it sounded like that.
Well, now you do like that. Don't worry, baby. I still love you. Okay.
But when baby, I know it.
Bender reference, nice. When's the last time you read a Swamp Thing book though? Like actually, like the Ram V stuff has been genuinely good. I fell off, but I still acknowledge it's good.
I'm still picking it up, and I'm going to binge read it when it's over. I just didn't sort of keep up with it.
I feel bad for falling off because everything that he did with Many Deaths was superb.
I'm still buying it. I'm still supporting him, but I just haven't got around to reading it yet. When it's only like, is it an 8 or a 10?
It's a 10. It's an odd number.
Yeah, and like I think like 6 or 7 are out now, so I'm just going to wait until it ends and then.
That's fair.
because I really liked
I'll
his.
try out the Hulk, Ram v Hulk with Al Ewing.
No, Josh, no.
No, don't.
That's Venom. That's Venom.
Venom. Well, I don't know if I'll try that out.
Venom. He's gonna get him. Venom.
Yeah, I really liked his future state stuff. Where it reminds me of like War of the Planet of the Apes, like that sort of post-apocalyptic thing.
That's pretty cool.
I actually agree with that. I really do. That's a really good.
Yeah, that was a really good story.
It was. I definitely was caught off guard by it, but it was good. I mean, it's only 3 issues. It's not going to be like a big like. Is this an oversized?
Yeah, 48 pages.
Oh hell yeah, brother! I'm gonna definitely fucking get that then. Yeah,
Jeff. 3 issues. I got 3 issues money.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like $6 per. So.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you guys a serious question here, really quick, before we move on. Let's say in a hypothetical scenario that every DC book that was not Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, the main staple stuffs, maybe Justice League, what have you. All of the other books, that includes Constantine, Swamp Thing, The Question, what have you, all of those things that we've already seen Black Label books for example. If those all came out in prestige format and they came out bi-monthly or once every 2 months, if that's bi-monthly, and it became that standardized format more regularly, would that be something you would consider picking up? Because then it would be kind of like the Greg Rucka book that he's working on right now.
Yeah, I would like
Lazarus.
More minis.
Yeah. Man, I wish Lazarus was in prestige format. That would be cool.
I agree.
Like you've got Hackman now. The main series has ended, but it's doing a 6-issue mini that's been sort of teased by Future State, and then the 80th anniversary one shot
with Brandon Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like, if you give me like 6 issues a year of something, you do a mini like seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do that. I'd be more willing to pick up more stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely.
But it's when it's some stuff's bi-monthly. It's like 2 issues a month. It's like I can't afford that.
Yeah.
Like
I was trying to think of like things they could do to make it cheaper for us. Like they keep doing this card stock stuff and like, hey, it's going to be an extra $1 to get that card stock, which is when it's like the only option is getting the card stock. Like I almost want them just to go digital, so I don't have to bother paying that extra $1 for this.
Well, I mean, I think that's the response to a lot of creators deciding to do this digital first and sometimes digital only stuff. I mean, obviously there's the Comixology deal that Snyder's done right now. I think that the problem is that the industry is trying hard not to change too much. Specifically Marvel. Marvel is refusing to make any dramatic changes outside of this new thing with Unlimited. I mean, that's a big step. I was caught off guard with it. Ryan Higgins made the comparison that while some people may be critical, DC is very much like Nintendo. They go through some experimental phases. They'll try out new stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the thing is that they're trying to do new things. And I think that they care more about trying to stay ahead of the curve than Marvel right now. And you can see that in the printing quality.
I think Marvel don't give a fuck. They're the biggest company in the world at the minute. I don't know, people are buying their stuff.
Tried. I mean, Marvel's tried things as well.
They've tried things, but not to the extent that DC has, for example.
I mean,
how much
DC doesn't have the little sticker in there that you can get a digital copy of the comic.
They did at one point for like 6 months.
I thought that they continued to do that.
No. They only did it for a very, very small time to justify the $1 price increase. And then when people sort of forgot about it, they quietly removed it.
Fair enough. Do you remember when they started drawing the line at $2.99?
Yeah.
That was nice. Realistically,
Image did that for a while.
Yeah. Realistically, they could sell their comics for $3 with no advertisements, and they could still make a big profit. And it just it's just kind of funny to me.
Oh my God. I want to get into that when we talk about Kang later in the comics episode.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
That comic was 32 pages long, and there was barely 20 pages of comic.
Do me a favor, write that down in the notes right now because I don't want you to forget. And I'll have you bring that up.
I know what I want to talk about. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I was prepared, unlike some people.
I am just here because I'm cute. That's the only reason I'm here. That's the only thing. That's why I get away with murder.
To keep this train running.
That's all I can do, baby.
Trend running.
I personally am excited by it, but I'm excited for this Swamp Thing title, but I also acknowledge that this feeling that I have in this moment is very much the same moment feeling that I had when I was reading Primordial, which is I can't keep fucking buying all these goddamn Jeff Lemire books. There's so many goddamn Jeff Lemire books.
Goddamn, we're getting to that later, but goddamn, that was a good issue.
It was a really good issue.
Yeah.
I feel like he's trying to beat Colin Bunn as far as the amount of stuff he puts out.
I think Colin Bunn releases a ridiculous amount of stuff.
It's an insane amount of stuff. And regardless of whether or not you like his work all the time, some of the time, what have you, I
feel bad for the guy. He needs to take a vacation.
He really does. Yeah. I actually like Colin Bunn. I liked his Sinestro run. I've liked
I heard good things about
County. That. It was actually
take
a really
vacation when he gets that money.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been contacted by Substack yet, has he?
Honestly, I would be curious to see what he would do. Harrow County has been a phenomenal book, and I think that's going to get picked up into a show here soon.
Okay.
I'm excited for people to have this access to this quality of content now. This is, in my opinion, the digital golden age of comic books.
Ooh,
and I think that that's exciting. I think this is an exciting
for everyone
time.
Except for the comic book shop.
Exactly. And that's something to consider, is how much is this going to affect the economy of comics when it comes to local businesses. Do you remember when some shops were doing the digital market for a minute? I mean, there's some stores that have still tried to stay afloat, or tried to at least until 2 years ago.
What do you mean digital market? Sorry.
Yeah.
So you could actually go into a comic book store and have a digital subscription through the store by going through their point of sale system. You can still get some physical, but you wanted to get some stuff digital. You could do that. You could get a discounted price. You could go directly through that store to get the Marvel, DC, what have you books. But unfortunately, a lot of those digital content was removed from the marketplace fairly recently. I don't know if you remember from a couple of years ago, they removed all of that. The Comics Conspiracy had that for a good long while, and they let it stay afloat in their store for quite some time. It's not something that a lot of people were asking for, because it's the same thing of, am I getting my books digitally versus in person? Because there's always going to be a desire to hold the value of the thing you're reading, and the collectability is always going to be something that is an incentive.
Yeah, I mean, there's been lots of stuff to that. This will be the death of the comic book store or something like that.
Absolutely.
Like, you can order comics straight to your house, or you can get the comics right online, but the adoption of those technologies has to go up by quite a lot before that becomes the killer.
It very much is the question. Well, not the question, but it's something that we've seen throughout history, where technology advances farther than the rest of the world. We get new technology, and then we have to adapt to that in order to make things work and make things stay afloat. Mm-hmm. So now that we have this access to digital formats, it's a matter of how can we mold ourselves and change and adapt in a way that's helpful.
You got to find those things that'll make you, the money to stay afloat.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
When you go into your comic book shop, do they have a like cooler or vendor area where they have, drinks or snacks or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
No. The one of the places I go to does, and they make all sorts of money just off of that, having snacks right there up front. Grab yourself, a Balls energy drink or an Arizona iced tea. Maybe grab yourself like a Cowtail or something right as you're checking out.
Sure.
It's kind of like a little convenience store up front, and they make a good margin off of that stuff.
My old store back in Cap Hill had a series of tables in the back that would allow for people to play Magic or Dungeons and Dragons, and then just hang out and talk. And then there was coolers for drinks and foods and stuff. The water cooler talk feeling of meeting with people and then bonding over what you're doing, what you're reading, what you're playing is always going to be a thing that brings people together. And during the pandemic, that's not going to be easy to do, but it's still something that people want. So people do what we do. We make a podcast, we sit around, we talk in Discord.
You guys, we talk, and you get me to pick up, comics that I wouldn't have even thought about. Like, oh man, DC, those jerk offs.
Yeah, because they're so bad right now. Listen,
well, I mean, at different points in the past 20 years.
I want you to understand that we just want you to treat yourself right and not continue to buy Deep Beyond.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Yes, sir. I think I'm done ranting here. I was curious about this next announcement. Could I actually have one of you guys do the intro and lead into this?
I have no idea about this.
So this is going to be a lot of fun. We don't even know what this is. It's just in here.
One Star Squadron by Mark Russell and Steve Lieber. Yep, I think it's just
Lieber.
one of Mark Russell's weird books that he does.
This
like
is
Snagglepuss. Like
this is Black Label. This is like off-brand Suicide Squad.
What?
I don't know anything about it.
It's just a normal series. It's a limited 6-issue series. It's not Black Label.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So this is based on an old Roy Thomas team. The team is going to consist of Red Tornado, Power Girl, and the like of other very strange kind of C-list, I guess, superheroes.
So the Suicide Squad.
Yes, but without the death and without the villains. This is announced by Games Radar as a series where heroism meets capitalism. The new team of working stiffs includes other superheroes like Gangbuster and Minuteman, who try to figure out who's behind this new venture and why. Coming together, it's basically like Blue and Gold, but without Blue and Gold, you know?
I don't know. This sounds like, I don't know. Some of the art that I saw kind of looked the same for Human Target.
So this is Steve Lieber. This is the same artist who worked with Matt Fraction on the award-winning Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. A 12-issue limited series, which was very funny, actually, and very touching. Digs into the history of the Olsens, how they got their wealth, you know, why he's always in the middle of dumb crap, why he gets turned into a giant turtle and then back, you know, stuff like that. Just funny stuff. Steve Lieber has a history of being put on more comical books as of late, but he has been in the industry for quite some time. He's a phenomenal artist. My shop actually has an ongoing joke about Steve Lieber because they love him so much that they want to give him a gift, a package, if you will. And one of them keeps making the joke about how you're obsessed with Steve Lieber's package, and he's like, "Goddamn right, I am."
So where that was going.
I got you. Mm-hmm. This is announced 5 days ago, I believe.
Yeah, it was when the new solicits came out.
Hell yeah, cool. Steve Lieber on more projects is cool. I wish I had more to say about this, but it looks interesting. It's Mark Russell. I'm definitely curious.
Yes, it's not a group I'm familiar with, like the character-wise. It's not a series I'm familiar with.
It's pretty old. It's Roy Thomas, so I mean, you know, it's been around for a hot minute there. However,
Gangbuster was out when I don't know if he had a story before that, but he was a part of right after Superman had died.
Gangbuster? Yeah, I think you're right. Was that right around the time that Leather Jacket Superboy started hanging around a little bit more? And then the new
when you had like all the successors to the throne, but like Gangbuster was way down the list.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing him in a issue of Kyle Rayner's Green Lantern, or maybe they just talked about him. Because Superboy was featured in a couple of issues. Man, there are so many extra characters. You know that it reminds me of anytime Bendis wants to include like C or D list characters into a book. That's what that makes me think of. Just kind of throwing them in there.
Yeah.
I wish that I had more to say about this, guys. I apologize. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
I know nothing about it really, so I can't really add more.
You said this was going to be a 6-issue series.
6-issue mini, yeah.
Okay.
It's Mark Russell. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, cool. And now for Josh's biggest news of the year ever.
Yeah. Batman
Beyond's Neo Year coming to 2020 by Jackson Lanzing and Colin Kelly. And if you're not familiar with that team.
Back, bitches.
Yes. That's the team working on King right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the first issue of King was pretty good.
The second issue was also really good. You don't think so?
Just a little bit of a downgrade.
Okay, that's fair. We'll talk about it later.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. I'm excited for this just because of the team.
Dude, I'm surprised you guys didn't read the Batman Urban Legends because, my God. Well, I'll get into that with my shout out, but like this Batman Beyond issue for Urban Legends was so good. And it was like 30, they did 30 pages on this. This was a fantastic one shot.
That's long.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a little side story or something that they were just highlighting.
No, it was the main story for the issue.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you guys should go read it like while we're in between episodes, but so good. I was getting like chills. I was just like, oh yeah.
I think for me, it's challenging to read some of the Batman Beyond comic books because it's not the same thing as the show. You know, the show was so good.
This, I'll mention this later, but they, I think, have discarded the entire continuity that had been going up until last year. Like it looks like they're kind of restarting and getting back in line with the show and going in a new and different direction.
But is that good? I don't know. I feel
I mean, like there's certain things, certain aspects that I wish they would have kept because they introduced so many cool ideas in Batman Beyond. You know, they had Matt, his brother, to be Robin. They get a new Batgirl, or Batwoman. You know, new headquarters, expanding the team, new villains and things like that.
Sure.
So
I guess
I liked where they were going. It seemed like they were going to continue that. You know, the end of the story was Batman Beyond joining the Justice League. But here, maybe it was just cut for time, but it seems like they're going back, taking steps back to years before, maybe going back to, right after the show.
I mean, I think I'd be okay with that. I think that, do you remember that episode of Batman Beyond when it's Terry years down the road and he's like way more swole and he's got
that was the final episode of Justice League Unlimited. I think it's season 2 finale.
Is that when we find out that Terry
Epilogue.
Is Bruce's
son? Yeah.
Son.
Okay, well, I feel better about my being a fucking nerd. Jesus shit. Yeah, that's season 2, episode 4. It's about 2 minutes and 90.
It's like it was supposed to be the finale of Justice League, like the entire finale of the Bruce Timm universe, and then they came back with more seasons.
Okay, fair enough.
Reminds me of like Futurama, where there was one bit where they just someone walks in the room, they're like, "We just got renewed."
Woo-hoo! Yeah. I should try to get a hold of my cousin who did the voice of what's the name of the platinum blonde girl in the show?
Harley Quinn.
No.
You mean from the Royal Flush Gang?
No.
Toots.
She had a weird name. Yeah, no, like she had white hair.
Oh, white hair.
It had a weird name. It was like Slay, something like that. I can't remember. Terry was
okay. So she was a villain.
No, she was just a character at the high school, but she was like a love interest outside of.
Oh no, but are you sure it wasn't actually blonde? She wasn't blonde.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Chelsea Cunningham.
What?
That might be the. Is that not her?
Are you just saying names?
Oh my god!
I googled Batman Beyond characters, and she's the blonde, cheerleader-looking one.
No.
She's platinum blonde.
So not the girl that played Ted.
Blade. Her name was literally Blade. I was trying to avoid using Blade. I was like, it can't be Blade because that's Marvel.
Oh,
but no, her name was Blade.
That is literally white hair. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't remember her.
She was a weird character. She was also in Batman Beyond's
Bobby Summer.
Bobby Shimmer. Yeah, that's my cousin. She also did Karare.
Melissa Disney. Your cousin's last name is Disney.
Mm-hmm. No relation to the Disney family.
Is that how she?
No, it says producer and distant relative of Walt Disney.
We're both separated by a bunch of marriage. So she's related through marriage. I'm related to Melissa Disney through marriage. I met her at a wedding, and she did the voice of As Told by Ginger at the time, and that was a huge show growing up. So
oh my god, very nice.
Wait, so is she related to Walt Disney?
I will kill you.
No, you said there was no relation, and then you said something else. So
well,
I'm
going off of the wiki. So who are you going to trust?
So we're
not even Wikipedia, just their Wikia.
They're distant relatives, but it's the same way that I'm a distant relative of Evil Knievel. Even if I am, it's not through blood; it's through marriage. Okay. So same thing.
Yeah. I've got connections like that too.
Yeah, if it's like my 15th cousin twice removed, no big deal.
No, my wife's cousin is so and so and blah blah blah.
I knew it.
Yeah,
you're related to the showrunner for My Little Pony, aren't you?
No, it was the guys that created Rocket Jump.
Are you related to Wes Craven?
Yes. No.
Yes.
If only.
Yes. That'll be my in. Like, oh yeah, Uncle Wesley.
Oh, so sad he died. Why did he die? Nightmares. Sorry.
Yep. So definitely gonna pick this up.
No, I'm definitely pumped for it. I'm excited to see like what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
It's Jackson Lanzing and Colin Kelly. I'm excited to actually see what's gonna happen with this. I think that given the opportunity, creators will shine if they are allowed the freedom that they have. I mean, hopefully editorial doesn't get involved.
This isn't another Green Arrow situation where they plan out an entire. They were told they're going to be on the book for a long time. They planned out like a 40-issue story, got green lights from it all around. Just after writing the second issue, they were told the series is being cancelled.
Who's they?
Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing.
Oh, that was them? I thought that was Otto Schmidt and
No, Ben Percy finished his run.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they were told like the book's going to be going for a long while, so they can plan out a big story. And they pitched this long story. They were really, they said editors were really pumped for it. They were just wrapping up writing issue 2, and they were told issue 3 is going to be their last issue. They need to wrap up the whole series.
That's
yeah. And do you want to know the reason why it was cancelled?
Was it Dan Didio?
It was Bendis taking Green Arrow for his Checkmate book. That didn't end up happening for another 2 years after the book was cancelled.
That doesn't even make any sense, because even Bendis said, I don't really want to take characters from people and he has openly said, I don't really want to take people's characters away. And then they put it off for a year.
Yeah, there was already a delay between when that book ended and when Checkmate should have started, but then it got delayed by another year.
I've got money that says that this is why Bendis is only doing one book at DC from now on. He's probably already fed up with their bullshit.
I'm fed up with his bullshit.
Fair. Moving on to Blacktop Bill.
Yeah.
Cool. A Blacktop Bill Nocterra special one-shot has been announced by Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniels, and Dennis Cowan. This will be a one-shot special featuring the now very strange villain that has become the darkest depths of our hearts in the story of Nocterra, which apparently is still up for grabs for a TV show, or is in the process of being made into a show.
It's like a TV movie, some bullshit.
Very
low budget,
Yeah. All right. Cool. I got nothing else to say about it, unfortunately.
No, it's just special issues. Got Dennis Cowan doing the art instead of Tony Daniel.
Seems kind of weird to me that they would do the one shot already, if they're going to reveal his whole backstory right after the first arc, because he's supposed to be, kind of this unknown value right now. He's just the big bad. We don't know much about him.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that happened with Batman Who Laughs, and then they in the middle of that run, he releases the one shot Grim Knight. Remember that? He does that. Also, isn't Dennis Cowan going to be a featured guest artist on some of the pages? I thought Tony S. Daniels is still going to be doing art on that.
Oh, maybe.
Okay. It is strange how fast Snyder moves on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I probably could have gone a year without this quite yet. I'm still interested, but I just definitely think the timing is strange.
Unless they don't give enough information, but then why do the one shot?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's just one of those one shot cash grabs where it's just him riding around killing shit.
That'd be unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Should we move on to WandaVision?
Yeah.
Cool. WandaVision has won Outstanding Production for Design for a narrative program, a half-hour limitation, as well as Outstanding Fantasy and Sci-Fi Costumes, Outstanding Original Music and Lyrics for Breaking the Fourth Wall, the song title Agatha All Along.
They did it.
They did it. They did it. They fucking did it, guys. It's a big win for them, but those are the appropriate awards for the show, not anything else.
Yeah,
realistically.
I mean, it was like the big sci-fi ones were WandaVision, Mandalorian, and I guess Star Trek Discovery to a lesser extent.
I'm not that impressed by Discovery, honestly. Like, to an extent, I am.
They won some random stuff. I guess they had some good choreography.
Sure. I don't know. This is a strange time to be like following TV right now because everything's streaming, and if it's not streaming, then it's you know what I mean. It's just it's a weird time for any kind of media right now. Most things are going digital, and it's in the pandemic that makes sense. But
so I sent you guys some of the stuff that the folks that make The Boys were doing. So they did get nominated for Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
The Boys got nominated for a few Emmys. But they decided to play it off and be like, since, in the Boys universe saying, oh, we didn't get, nominated for Emmys. So Vought went and made their own like award show for them and all of their, they made up all sorts of fake TV shows.
Yeah.
Like A-Train is doing like The Biggest Loser and The Deep is doing like My Octopus Teacher.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Man, that show is just like hitting on all the right points right now. It's hitting all the good spots. Feels good, bro.
It's been too long since season 2 ended.
It's only been like a couple months, right? It's been like 8 months.
It was like last September.
It started in September of last year. So I think it ended like first or second week of November.
Damn, all right. Is it really?
No, it started first week of September and we got 3 episodes and then it ended October 9th.
Oh, wow. How many episodes were there?
8.
Only
I was going to say.
Shit. I thought there were more than that.
Yeah, and they've only just finished filming season 3 now, so it's going to be a good few months until we get any episodes.
6 or 7 months. Yeah, we're waiting on like March or something.
A year and a half, but 8 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm honestly
but they're going to be good episodes.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
They will be.
Versus, WandaVision, that's a one-off series. I'm surprised it wasn't part of like the limited series versus like continuing.
Yeah. I am really surprised at the amount of content that is being put out in the middle of the pandemic. I know people are trying to be careful, but it's just like, it's not like you guys are losing money, really. I mean, you guys are all fucking wealthy if you're making shows and shit. I mean,
yeah.
What's the risk of taking a year off?
Shit. I think I was looking up stuff for maybe like Shang-Chi, where they were filming stuff back like earlier this spring. And like you can kind of tell in certain scenes of Shang-Chi where it looks like people are separated or filming like on a green screen away from each other. Like they're not actually in front of each other. They're just pretending to talk to each other.
Okay. That's going to be a weird thing to see down the road. Like 10 years from now, we're going to be like, oh yeah, look back at this point. You can tell that this is a green screen.
They're not next to each other. Yeah.
You can tell. It's very strange. Yes. We all wore masks. And QAnon prevailed.
Well, Peter Jackson managed to film people separately 20 years ago and make it look magnificent.
Yeah, but he fucking tore apart the emotions of Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
No, that was on Hobbit.
That was in The Hobbit
10 years ago.
Yeah. I'll never forgive him for that.
It wasn't his fault. He was going to get fucked over by that movie.
Yeah.
No, I'm still going to blame him.
Now, when you hear like the behind the scenes stuff, it was going to be 2 movies. One directed by him, one directed by Guillermo del Toro. Toro. I'm very tired. I said it and I was like, that's not right. Shit. Yeah, it was going to be called A Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, and then There and Back Again. Then,
but what
who's
if
the studio? Who's the
we
studio?
like money?
Weinstein.
New Line Cinemas.
Sure. Yeah, they said they wanted it to be
Warner
a trilogy.
Brothers.
It's not Warner Bros. This time. Not this time.
It was Warner Brothers that put it out, though.
No, it wasn't.
Distributing.
It's on HBOMax.
Wow.
But who produced it?
I think it was
no
New
idea.
Line.
Let me look up The Bobbit.
But yeah,
Unexpected
the
Burning.
studio decided they wanted it to be a trilogy, like The Lord of the Rings, and Peter Jackson was like, no. And then they were like, well, you either direct it or we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah,
And
New Line Cinemas,
after he spent like
MGM, and
a
Warner
decade of his
Brothers.
life doing these movies, he kind of had to do it. So they
Just
didn't fuck
think
it
of
up.
all the money.
And then Guillermo del Toro dropped out, and Peter Jackson had to direct all three. And he said when it came to the third one, he was literally like writing the script pages the night before and just winging it on the day.
Yeah, he was
sucks.
like not sleeping at all. Just like
I do feel
8
bad
hours
for him.
for shooting, 8 hours for reviewing, 8 hours for writing script. Repeat.
Do you guys know the history of The Crow 3 at all?
No.
So originally, Rob Zombie was set to direct it, and this was right after the massive flop of the original sequel for Crow 2. And Rob Zombie was pumped about it because he was like, "Yeah, I'm down to like do a Crow story. I can fucking, I can. It's like it's a darker, edgier."
Like mid 90s still, right?
Late 90s for the third one. So it was supposed to come out in like 97, I think. Okay. In 1998, Rob Zombie was doing an interview with Howard Stern and talking just about that, where he was like, "Yeah, I want to do like a goth fantasy, like Good, Bad, and the Ugly kind of story." And the studio was totally for it at the time. But, you look at the box office for movies that were just raking in dough at the time, it was, Starship Troopers was number one at the box office. So they're like, how can we put in like giant bugs in like the movie and shit like, and they just kept coming in and trying to make little changes. And eventually Rob Zombie was just like, this isn't anything like the movie that I wanted to make. And you keep making like these changes and putting your fingers into the pie, trying to make adjustments to something that is not what I want to do. And you're not trusting me with this project at all. And eventually he had to just drop out. And then we got the fucking god awful sequels that we got after that. And that's not even the first one.
Was written by David Esquire. So no surprise it sucked, really.
Yeah, really. Jesus Christ. Why does that guy get work? That's not the first time that we're going to see a studio try to get in on the like creative process. It's just, if you're the bank, if you're the one giving the money, just limit yourself to that. You're not good enough to make art. Just let the artists make the art. Same thing with editorial for comic books. Let them be. And rant.
Breathe.
I don't know how to feel about this new announcement about the Penguin spinoff from the Batman being in the works for HBOMax with Matt Reeves producing.
That's okay, because it's got like a 50-50 shot of actually being something that comes to fruition.
Well, I mean,
they're still working on that Gotham Central show, aren't they?
I was just going to say that they're still working on putting out that John Cena show from the Suicide
Peacemaker.
Squad.
Oh, that's already filmed. That filmed with the movie.
Yeah, so
that is happening.
Yeah, but like DC Universe, Extended Universe, they've got like what, maybe a 1 in 3, 1 in 2 things they talk about actually come to fruition.
Fair enough.
But Colin Farrell has been approached to star. He hasn't signed on yet, though.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't even like an actual picture of him when it was like the picture of the Penguin.
No, it's him. It's just not him on set for the Penguin.
But he hasn't even signed on.
Well, no, because he's going to be in the Batman.
Yeah, he's playing Penguin in the Matt Reeves
signed
movie.
On. Okay.
But he's not signed on to the series yet.
Like somebody took a picture of Val Kilmer.
No, I'll tell you who
was just out walking his dog.
It looks like.
All right. It looks like Tyler got some Joker toxin.
Sorry, that just made me giggle because that's all I see now.
I don't even see Colin
played him.
What? Who did? Danny DeVito?
No, I'm trying to find out who played the mayor in Gotham.
More like Daddy DeVito.
But I went on the wiki and it didn't have the
mayor. For which show?
Gotham.
Oh, Gotham was Richard Kind.
Richard Kind. It reminds me of Richard Kind, the picture of Colin Farrell as Penguin.
Kinda, yeah. I don't know. No, you got to do it like Richard Kind's voice. He sounds like that. Nope, now that doesn't sound right. I don't know.
That's a terrible impression, but keep going, please.
That is his voice right there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're doing a fantastic job.
It does just look like he's angry.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It looks more like him than Colin Farrell.
Do me a favor, do a side-by-side comparison and then post that on Reddit. I just want to see if it gets like some traction.
It's already been done when the first
Fair
pictures
enough.
were released.
Fair enough. Okay. I don't really need this. It's not really something I need in my
I'm
life.
looking forward to the world being expanded. Like,
I guess, but it's also that
give me
question
a
of
Batman universe.
how much of this is going to be the new setting for the new DC film franchise, and how much of this is just going to be whatever.
It's all whatever.
It depends if it comes from a creative standpoint or a business standpoint. If Matt Reeves is the one that's gone in and he's like, I've got an idea for this and this, and it's spawned from that, fair enough. But if it's Warner Bros. Going, we want more of this, then that's...
Yeah, it all hinges on whether or not the Batman is a huge success.
Yeah, because we're all really worried about the Batman being a successful film ever.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what if it doesn't make $1 billion trillion? Then it probably isn't worth doing the TV show.
I went to go see The Dark Knight in theaters on Saturday. It had a re-release, and it's such a good fucking film.
Yeah,
it's a good film.
Seeing it on the big screen again, it was just, yeah.
Seeing that in theaters back in high school
brings
was a
me
great
back.
experience.
All right, so what else have we got to cover?
One last thing.
Oh yeah, Why the Last Man came out.
Sean, you were a baby back then. What for you?
I was like 10 when it came out. I don't remember if I went to see it in theaters. I know I definitely saw Dark Knight Rises in theaters.
July
I don't know
4th or 5th, 2008.
I would have been 10 then. I might have gone to see it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. No, I went and saw it. I saw that shit in IMAX twice. Tyler, we're losing you, man.
We're not losing him. He's gone.
I see. It's interesting because
he's back.
On my end, that's interesting.
All right. Well, Sean and I are going to talk about Why the Last Man.
Yeah. Just briefly mention it because we're going to do an actual discussion at some point. But yeah, the show's out.
I want to talk about it. Ugh.
The show's out. It's real. It exists. It
exists.
It's good.
Yeah.
It exists.
It's better than any of us were expecting, I think.
Well, better than dog shit is,
not a high bar.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good. I think I can see where things are going. You know, they've changed quite a few things. Yeah, it is moving fast. You know, not like, oh my God, we're going to be done with the book in like one season, but it is moving at a good clip for right now. The first 3 episodes came out all at once, same as what they did for like The Boys last year. We just talked about that.
Yeah. And is it today we get another episode?
I think so. Yes. I think it's Mondays every week. So we'll have all the episodes very soon.
It's the first season, so I mean they are probably going to do a limited episode release for the first season.
I would be surprised if it wasn't more than 10.
Let's have a look. It's 10 episodes.
Okay. Typically, it's going to be around that limited episode release. Most shows are going to be that way.
I'd prefer this to the 22 episode overinflated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is
so let's see, October 25th, and then maybe like November 1st. I think November 1st will be the last episode.
Yeah. One thing I didn't expect was this big highlight on the Republican women. That was so brief in the comics.
It was a lot.
Yeah, they've expanded a lot of stuff. They've added roles and they've expanded roles. They're still moving pretty fast, but it's neat that
they've changed some character roles a lot, notably heroes.
I think we just don't see this part of Hero's story in the comic.
Agreed, but
like it totally could have been this the entire time. It's not like the trajectory has changed yet.
No, there was a bigger time jump in the comics, wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, we focus so much on Yorick.
Yeah.
So we've kind of catapulted, we kind of like skipped ahead a little bit while filling in some of the stuff that the comic doesn't cover.
I think I'm gonna probably go reread that.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, we're gonna have to do
Sure.
a whole discussion on Why the Last Man so I can get all my theories out.
Absolutely.
All right.
Alrighty. Should we call it good here? Wrap it up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Take us out.
All right. Well, this has been the Cult of Comics podcast. This has been our newest episode. It is Monday, September 20th, 2021. And that's all the news that we have for the world of comic books this week and all of the things that we're feeling on that. You can give us support by going to our patreon.com/cultofcomics. You can follow us on all of the social media podcast locations, which is going to be Spotify, Stitcher, Breaker, blah, blah, blah. You can check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Any support that you give us is going to be in the form of giving us likes, giving us shares, giving us follows. But most importantly, you can give us $1, and you can do that by going to patreon.com/cultofcomics, or you can go to anchor.fm/cultofcomics. Thank you very much for checking us out, guys. And all hail, stay safe, get vaccinated, wear a mask, and have an awesome rest of your day.